Well, I decided to cancel my Thousand Trails camping pass. Why? Well, because they didn't have the campgrounds in the specific areas I really like in Florida. And right now, just living out of my car and registering as a tent camper doesn't give me enough value. In the course of the past year, I have used the equivalent of what it would have cost me to pay at campgrounds. But I wanted to use this full year in the Thousand Trails camping pass system to get the experience and to visit the sites, to stay at the sites, to see how they actually are, how I like them, and get comfortable with the logistics of waking up at the campground, leaving, having my daily routine. And I still find tremendous value in the Thousand Trails camping pass or membership. If you have an RV, definitely. If the campgrounds are where you want to be, no doubt. But right now, as a tent camper technically, and as someone who likes certain areas in South Florida, I'm going to cancel my renewal. And that's what happens every year. You will automatically get renewed. Your credit card would get charged. Or you can send an email to them. I would recommend doing it at least 30 days in advance prior to your expiration date where they would renew it. You send an email, I think it was membership services at equitylifestyle.com, but verify that. Call up Thousand Trails and verify. Remember, Thousand Trails is actually a publicly traded company. I think like Equity Lifestyle. It's a REIT, something like that. I could be wrong. But I sent the email per the request that they told me that's the process. But I also followed up. You have to follow up. I followed up a week later, and I spoke to a person. I said, we didn't get your request, even though I sent the email. So I'm used to life already, so I didn't even get upset. I said, that's fine. That's why I'm following up. Got to follow up always, guys. Your money, your life. And she goes, all right, I can do it over the phone. I'll mark on your account that you do not want to renew it. You won't be charged. And you can still use the camping pass for the rest of the time that you have this yearly pass, which I have for about another month and a half. And I asked her to send me a documented email confirming cancellation. And that's what she did. And I recommend you do that in case you have a problem where you're billed again. You have documentation that, you requested the cancellation. Would I ever join Thousand Trails again? Yes. Maybe even in a few months. That's what I like about the Thousand Trails camping pass. It's very flexible. You can renew or not renew. But I want to wait to see if eventually I'm going to get an RV. When I get an RV, that'll definitely be on my radar. It still won't solve the locations that they have campgrounds. Again, I like Southeast Florida, and there's not that many locations in that area. And I did get the Encore package too. Still didn't have that many locations. But I think right now I'm just going to use my flexibility, use the fact that I can get out of the system, and then if I want to get back in, I'll get back in. Now, if I get back in, I'm probably going to buy a used membership so I can go from park to park every 14 days or 21 days rather than having to leave every 4 days if I was doing tent camping, and that brings some logistical problems. But I'd probably only get a used membership if I have an RV and if I'm comfortable with the campground locations at that time, and depending how I want to live, how cheap I want to live. But would I recommend the Thousand Trails camping pass? Yes, the camping pass if you're a tent camper living out of your car, because you don't register as, I'm living out of my car, even though you can register as a pickup truck camper. Like if you have a camper in the back of your pickup, there's actually a drop down for that. But if you're living out of your car or SUV, you're registering technically as a tent camper. Do the research of the campground locations, because not all campground locations allow tent camping. And look, I would say try for a year. For $600 for the basic Thousand Trails camping pass, that's what's without discounts at this time. You stay at a campground for a month and a half, it's paid for itself. So, and that's what I did. And I traveled up and down the East Coast of America. New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Florida. And so right now, just going to use my flexibility to get out. Again, every time you commit to something, always know your exit strategy. How hard is it to get out? Very email. Send an email and follow up with a phone call and get a confirmation email sent to you so you have documentation. Then if you want to get back in, you just sign back up, or you buy, use membership, whatever you want to do. You'll have to look into that. I don't know. I don't think I would ever buy a new membership, but you'll see how that goes. Some people have to finance it. If you had to finance it, then that's why you go a new membership, not a used. But right now, I think I'm just going to cut all ties, reevaluate as things go. Again, the coronavirus changed some things, but I did get the full year out of the camping pass. I'm really glad that I did do the 1,000 trails. I recommend anyone, especially beginners that are going to live in their car, van, or even RV, to seriously look into and research the campground locations of the 1,000 Trails Camping Pass. It's a safe, legal place to park where you get full utilities, bathroom facilities, etc. So look into it. I think it's an asset and a good resource as a nomad. And then if you want to get out of it, get out of it. And if you want to get back into it, get back into it. So experience it, do the research first. And hopefully this video helped you in some way. If it did, I appreciate if you clicked a thumbs up. Also consider clicking that blue join button. You can become a member. Every day on this channel I go live. You can interact. I appreciate all my members. Check out my playlist. I do have a playlist of all the 1,000 Trails campgrounds that I visited, so you can check that out on my YouTube channel. Other than that, guys, that's what it is. So live simple, live light, just do the best you can. That's all any of us are doing, one day at a time. All right? God bless.